Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Emerald City Sports, the podcast, episode 56. We are back. Took a week off because a lot of schoolwork. So, took a week off. Now we're back. Josh is not here, though, because Josh has a math test tomorrow that he's got to study for. I happen to take that math test today, so I got some time out of my day. Jacob's got some time out of his day. So we are here and rolling on the Emerald City Sports podcast. Let's jump right into it, Jacob. We got a lot of Seahawks stuff to cover since we missed last week. So let's start off with the good. And that was what we missed last week. And that was the throwback game against the Browns. Now, the score looked a lot tighter than it should have been. We were supposed to come in and handily take the win, but some things just don't go your way. And for the Seahawks,
But
that
were we
happened.
though?
For the Seahawks, that
We
happened.
we had a similar record.
I mean, but without Deshaun Watson and PJ Walker being
PJ Walker ain't bad.
Yeah, but he ain't
Remember
bad,
last year? He threw I think the farthest pass last year.
But him, he's still a BKQB. He's still a backup for a reason. So coming in, we were expecting, a nice, handily played win, and that just didn't happen for the Seahawks for about 3.5 quarters. But then at the end, Seahawks, just as they always do, give the fans a heart attack, and in the end, we did get the win in those sick throwback jerseys that we're gonna wear again against the Cowboys. This is the good news. We'll talk about the bad news later, but let's just start it off right now. Jacob, this win moved Seattle to 5-2. Nice 24-20 victory over the Browns. What were some good takeaways from that game?
Good takeaways from that game. We got the rookies going. We got JSN and Bobo both getting touchdowns. I mean, it just all around was a pretty good game for us, except for that little middle part where we just couldn't get out of 3 and outs, and it was just pretty bad. But other than that, when we had to play good, we played good. When we didn't have to play good, we played bad. So I think takeaways from that game, the biggest takeaway is to just keep playing with the same momentum instead of having the game be a roller coaster and giving your fans a heart attack.
And the defense once again really showed up again. And it was just nice because the offense couldn't get anything wrong. Like you said, they were just continuing to get 3 and outs and 3 and outs and 3 and outs. And the defense was barely getting any breaks. And they still went out there and still played rock solid and got a clutch turnover for the offense to have an opportunity in which they got the JSN touchdown for the win. And I mean, it's kind of nice with the offense that even though we suck this game, at least the screenplays works, right? I mean, the whole season up until that point, really the screenplays to JSN were just going nowhere, and then finally clicked this week. Though the defense was really good, though, there was a problem, and that was the run game. They were kind of barreled over against the Browns, and that did lead over to the next week. But let's focus on the game against the Browns and that defense. That wasn't a great performance. What did you think, Jacob?
The defense against the Browns, I think it could have been a little better, but I think overall wasn't too bad. We've been able to, contain most the teams that we've played until the Ravens game, but that's a different story. And I don't think the defense in the Ravens game, I think they kind of gave up. Yeah, but against the Browns, they contained them. They just couldn't get anything going really until that very end spot where we just relied on our offense. So if we're relying on our offense to finish our games, I think our team should just be fine. But I don't know. I think we should be good at both. But if it comes down to it, I think our defense is doing a perfectly fine job. They're not the ones to blame for these bad games. And
whoa, look who decided to jump in.
We have a little.
Guys, hey, live on air right now.
Action.
Look who decided to jump into the chat.
Are we live?
We're live on air,
We're
Josh.
live.
We're live on air.
Live?
Oh my gosh.
I was just popping in to say hi.
This might be the first time that is actually the first time that's happened, guys. Josh comes in live on air. Josh, welcome to the show. Are you studying for your math test?
Hello. It should be. Yeah.
He most
Yeah.
definitely should be. Jumped
Yeah.
in to say hi.
Yeah. Let me just talk about the Seahawks real quick. Seahawks just absolutely blew it on Sunday. Okay, guys. Thank you. I gotta go.
All right.
Wise
See you.
words from Josh right there. All right, he had
That was a
he had a
quick little pop in.
5 second cameo, and then decided, you know what, I'm out. See you guys. He does need to study for that math test though, so I'm kind of lucky
Oh
that he
yeah.
had to do it today instead. Going back to what we were talking about, yeah, the defense was solid enough. But there were a couple holes in there, and then that really showed. So let's go on to the bad news. And that was the absolute murder that was the Ravens game, in which the Seahawks just got brutalized the entire game. From the start, it was just bad. Got walloped 37-3. Lamar Jackson and company just doing their thing. Not good at all for the Hawks. Jacob, yeah, this was bad. What did you think?
Well, I mean, going into the game, I knew this wasn't going to be a win.
Yeah.
I mean, from the beginning of the season, I even predicted that we lose this game. But I think that's okay because, well, they did the same thing to the Lions, and no one is questioning the Lions anymore. So I think if we just get a big win against the Commanders this upcoming week, I think we should be just fine. Oh, and by the way, I don't think the Commander's name is really that bad anymore. Like, I just
I
had to get
mean,
used to it. It's
yeah,
not even like
I
that
guess.
bad.
I mean, I like
It could
their
be worse.
original name more. It was better that way, but whatever. You just gotta adjust with the times.
It ain't that bad. It
It
ain't
ain't that
that
bad. It
bad.
ain't that bad. So with this Ravens game, I mean, the big concern was really Geno Smith. He got nothing going the entire game, threw an awful interception right into another Geno's hands, and just looked out of it the entire day. It was so weird seeing him just okay. It was weird seeing them not play with strengths. He's a play action guy, but they had him lining up in shotgun for like most of the snaps, which confused me. And then he just didn't look comfortable at all. I mean, you got to admit that Ravens defense is really freaking good, but to be able to like not move the ball once and only get 3 points out of this was concerning for
It was awful. It was like
yeah.
insanely bad.
It was really concerning for Geno Smith. I mean, looking back since the Cincinnati game, he's thrown 6 interceptions. 6 interceptions in 4 games is very, very concerning. It's pretty much as if Geno has already written back, and we just have to admit it now. It was not good. With the defense, however, Jacob, I mean, it was looking great in the first half, but then kind of fell apart afterwards. Because man, they got no time to get some rest, and even if they did get rest, they were gonna get torched anyways because that run game was absolutely brutal. I mean, what was their rushing total? It was like 200 something, 300 something yards. It was insane. We were
Okay,
getting
when you
run
have
over.
Lamar Jackson plus a running back, you're gonna get ran all over. That's just the truth.
And that is exactly what happened to this defense. And it was so bad to the point where like they brought Tyler Huntley in, and even he threw a touchdown to OBJ, and Tariq Woolen got burned. Like this, okay, look, the defense got
Okay,
some great.
Tyler Huntley was a Pro Bowler,
That is uh okay, Pro
and that was
Bowler,
last season.
sure, but I mean for that, even just Tariq Woolen getting burned by OBJ is already bad, and that was just more insult to insult, and that really is going to hurt the morale for this team now that they're 5-3 and now have dropped to second in the division. But it was, I mean, I guess it was nice to have the division lead for a week or so. And for people wondering why the Niners are considered first in the division, it is most likely because they have more points for, as they have 218 total points this year, while we only have 171.
I thought it was also a tiebreaker because they beat the Rams.
That also is true. So I mean, yeah, if we just won that first game, it'd be a lot better. Um, this really brings up the question. I mean, are the Seahawks good, or are they just picking on bad teams like the Miami Dolphins are? Jacob, what do you think?
I think the Seahawks obviously do better against bad teams, but the thing is, they played Cleveland, and Cleveland I wouldn't say is a bad team. I think Cleveland is slightly above average, and we beat the Lions. The Lions are a really good team.
But
So I think
that was
it
the
matter.
one
Okay,
like good win.
yeah, okay, but the thing is with the Seahawks, I think we can beat teams with good records, but not elite teams, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I
Like
see.
if we play a team that's built all around, like maybe like the Eagles or like the Chiefs, Ravens, those teams, we're not gonna, probably win those. But if we play teams with good records who aren't as complete, you could say, like the Lions, who else? What's another team like that? Uh the Dolphins, I guess. I think we could beat the
The
Dolphins if
Dolphins
we
are
played them.
also like a team that picks on bad teams. You've seen it this year. I mean, they got walloped
Exactly.
mostly
They're
by the
they're a
Chiefs.
good record team.
That's
Though.
just like us. Yeah, we have a good record, but we just can't make that jump to be an elite team, being up there with like the Eagles and I guess the Niners and the Cowboys and stuff like that. We just can't get up there with them. And there's so many reasons why. I mean, the offense for one, play calling is also considered one. The defense is good, but I mean, when you look at like the Eagles and the Chiefs and stuff, we still got some work to do. We got a young core. We still got some work to do to get up there and be elite with the other teams. And I mean, at the end of the day, it does kind of go back to quarterback. I mean, all the other teams really do have a franchise quarterback. The Eagles got Jalen Hurts. Niners got Chiefs got Mahomes. Niners, it's a question mark with Purdy right now, but they
No,
seem
no.
kind of set on him. And then who else? Lamar's Ravens. Lamar for the Ravens. Tua for the Dolphins, even though they could be considered in the same category as us. It's really a question mark where Geno is. There have already been fans calling for Geno to get benched, which I think is ridiculous, but I can see
That's insane.
why they are. I can see why they are angry, but I think it's a reach. It's wait like a few more weeks. Once
It's
they get,
ridiculous, but it's not ridiculous. Is
it's
the
like
thing. It's
it's
like
like ridiculous, but they got a fair point. Like you can see from their point of view why they'd be angry and calling for his bench, him
I
getting
say,
benched.
I say this season we don't replace him, and we just wait, finish out the season. Because even with him at quarterback, I still think we're gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I mean we already did that last year, so
Yeah, just wait for the draft, and we pick up how many good quarterbacks. We're not getting Caleb Williams. I know that.
maybe
We aren't
Penix.
getting Caleb Williams.
Maybe Penix will fall to us if or trade up. You never know. Depends on how
I
Gino
hope
plays the
so.
rest of the season. If he plays like this, then we might eventually have to go to Drew Lock near the end, or draft another QB. Even though we gave this guy a 3-year, $75 million extension, it's just what you got to
Let's
do. It's business.
let's take a look at some of the QBs in this upcoming draft, and if you think the Seahawks could get him, and if they would be a franchise guy for the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's definitely
Starting
Penix.
with starting with Michael Penix, I think that'd be a perfect fit. He reminds me of maybe prime Cam Newton with a little bit less mobility.
No, yeah. I can see what you mean. Like, he's a big guy. He's just not. He's never really seemed like a scrambler, so I can see what you
I
mean
think
there.
he can scramble when he wants to. Like last year, he had a really nice 30-yard
Yeah.
scrambling touch, or not. It wasn't a scramble. It was a designed run, but still, I think he could be a good runner, and if he really tried to, he could get some yards on the ground. But the thing is, right now in college, with such an amazing O line, he doesn't really need to do that.
That is fair. I mean,
All he
our O
has to
line is like guys we picked up off the streets right now. I mean, they're still banged up as heck.
do literally Jason Peters.
Yeah, he's
Literally Jason
41.
Peters.
Like that's how you know it's pretty bad when you have to pick up a guy.
At this point, let's
41
just put like Marshawn at running back,
at running
or
back.
not.
I
I mean, not
mean,
running back.
at
O line.
O-line.
Put Marshawn at O line.
Hilarious.
Get
Man,
Marshawn there in center.
well, Abe Lucas is coming back soon. So,
He
I mean,
better. He's our best O lineman.
we need him back right now. We are desperate. So, I mean, yeah, it will take time. I mean, the question comes back to, is Gino really our franchise QB or not? I still feel like he's still considered like our bridge from Russell to the next franchise QB, but a longer bridge. Like Tavares Jackson was 1 year, but I mean, with the way we've extended Gino, I think it's going to be a lot longer than that. I mean, I don't know what P and John think of
What
him.
we could do is maybe keep him for one more year and let a guy sit behind him.
That's
Or
what some people think.
we have that big contract and we can make a bigger trade deal just to help. No, I don't know. A good trade offer for a team maybe is maybe the Minnesota Vikings. I know they just picked up Josh Dobbs, but I can't see Josh Dobbs being their franchise guy. And I know Kirk Cousins is gonna be gone because it just is leaning towards that way. I don't think he's gonna get extended. I think he's an amazing quarterback, but I don't think he's gonna be their guy now for the future, which sucks because he's such an amazing player. So I think he'll be gone, and the Seahawks could make a really good trade for them, or trade. I mean, Seahawks could trade Gino to a team like that, or although in division trades don't really happen that much, but sending Gino to the Cardinals because it sounds like Kyler Murray, if he comes back and he doesn't have a spectacular rest
Yeah.
of the season,
Yeah.
he's going to be gone. Which honestly, for me as a Seahawks fan, and probably for you, that'd be really nice because Kyler Murray
Fair enough.
seems to just
Yeah.
destroy the Seahawks when he plays us. So
Well,
I don't know. There's so many possibilities of what could happen.
yeah, I mean, we're gonna look into the future there. I mean, all these questions will come back up in the off season. Right now, we gotta look at the now, and that is these next couple of games. These next two games, as much as I hate to say it, these are must win. I mean, it's the Commanders and the Rams. These are games that we are supposed to win. We should win, and we do actually need to win because after that, we have a rough stretch ahead of us, a brutal 4 game stretch. Where it's the Niners on Thanksgiving, then it's the Cowboys Thursday night the week after. Then the Niners again, and then the Eagles. So I mean, you're looking at a 4 game stretch, so we could have a high chance of going 0-4, which is why we need to win these 2 games to get up to what 7-3. So if we actually lose 4 straight, we'll be okay at 7-7. That's still a good chance to make it to the playoffs. So I mean, let's look first at this week. The Commanders 4-5. What Sam Howell at QB? They lost Chase Young. They lost Montez Sweat. This is a team that the Hawks really need to take advantage of. So Jacob, how do we win this game?
We win this game by being the better team and playing to our better play, throwing to our better players and playing through our better players like DK Metcalf. DK has got how many targets last week? 4.
Yeah.
That's insane. We should be targeting him at least 10 to 12 times a game with his talent. I mean, he's way too good to be one of those receivers that just gets nothing. Like, he's not one of those guys that we need to stop with this little rink dink little
His antics.
5-yard passing game
Yeah.
that Geno Smith hardly even completes now, where instead of overthrowing the 5-yard guy and going deep to DK, because previously, like last year, that worked. Geno had the best deep ball percentage and deep ball rating, or I don't know if it's percentage, but deep ball rating, which really stood out and showed that Geno could make those passes. I don't know if it's something with his confidence or what, because he has not made any of those really big passes in big time moments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it, I don't know what happened.
And yeah, you're right with the whole DK thing. He seems accurate when he throws to all the other guys, and then when it gets to DK, he's either overthrowing, underthrowing, behind, way too far in front. And I mean, I guess you can see that's why DK has his antics, but I mean, there's that connection is really missing this year, and it really shows in their stat lines. So hopefully we can get that going this week because I mean that defense has lost 2 of its best players in Chase and Montez. So we need to take advantage of this and use it to our advantage. I think for this game, we really got to go back to play action. I barely saw enough play action the last 2 weeks, and the play action is Geno's strength. I mean, obviously he's going to learn that behind a play action master like Russell Wilson. So I feel like Shane Waldron's really got to go back to Geno's strength, and that is faking a run and then hitting DK or lock it deep. That's what Gino does best, and we've seen that happen multiple times this season, and it has worked. And we went away to it, and look at our offense, kind of crashed and burned there. So going back to it, I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I mean,
Exactly.
just go back to play action. It should work. I mean, we're wearing our navy and gray. Looks good at Lumen, so we'll see what happens there. I mean, this is a must-win game. Jacob, what else do you
Oh,
think
yeah.
about this?
If we lose this, then we're going to be in a bad position.
Very.
If we win this, we're going to be in a really good position.
Yeah.
So
we need that momentum going into the Rams game, and this time in LA. So getting this win will be vital for our team. Got to boost that team morale, and got to get that good position in the playoff picture. Because I mean, we're already halfway through the season, believe it or not. There's a lot of work to do to get up there.
Who's the Niners playing this week?
The Niners, I mean, they had a bye last week, so this week they're playing the Jags in Jacksonville.
Ooh, that might be a tough game.
I mean, yeah,
that is going to be a tough
the
game.
Jags have been kind of a dark horse in the NFC. I mean, the AFC. I mean, 6-2, but no one's really talking about them, and that really just goes to show how stacked that AFC is.
Before the season, I said the Jags were going to be the number one team coming out of the
true.
AFC. I said that. And
but I mean, if you look
I
at
think they could. Okay, I also said the Panthers were going to win the division, so that kind of offsets it. But I did say the Jags were going to be the best team out of the AFC, which I think they still could be.
If you look at the media though, I mean, you might be the only guy that's ever said that, because the Jags have gotten no love. I mean, they're 6-2, leading the AFC South, which, to be fair, is one of the
They're not even
divisions.
bad no more, though.
And
they're not bad anymore.
I mean,
look at the teams in their division. They're not even bad. And the Titans, when they have Will Levis at quarterback, they play so much better than when they have Ryan Tannehill or Malik Willis.
But like with Jacksonville, no one's really talking about them, and that shows how stacked the AFC is. I mean, you got the Chiefs, you got the Ravens, you got the whole AFC North, who are all in the playoffs, in the playoff picture right now. I mean, that thing is stacked. When you look on the NFC side, it's really just the Eagles and Niners trying to battle it out. I mean, maybe the Cowboys, but we all know how the Cowboys end their season. So at the end of the day, it's really like two teams fighting for the NFC spot, and a couple of long shots.
The Cowboys cycle.
Every year.
We're at the. What point are we at right now? Are we at the this is our year?
I mean, consider they lost to the Eagles. I don't know. It'll be like make excuse on social media, and they're gonna like destroy a team, and it's gonna be this is our year again, and then get destroyed, and then complain, and then it's like it's the same cycle. It's normal at this point. We've just all gotten used to it. So yeah,
they're gonna be good, but they're not gonna be a playoff team. They're just not a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's really like Eagles. If the Niners can get back to themselves again, that it's really just gonna be Eagles and Niners contending for the NFC spot. While on the AFC side, it's like really every team has a shot in that AFC side.
Every one of the 7 teams that will make the playoffs will have a really.
They actually have a solid fighting chance, especially the AFC North.
And over here, it's Philly and the 49ers.
Yep.
Or if the Seahawks somehow end up playing good and Geno Smith goes back to his last year form, the Seahawks could be a contender. Who knows? Who knows?
But even at the end of the day, you saw how we did against the Ravens. We're not an elite team yet. We still got a lot of time before we reach that point.
We could be.
Could be eventually.
We could be.
But I mean, if that Ravens game showed anything, is that we are not yet. But emphasis on the yet. There's still time. There's still time. We'll see what happens. I mean, it must win the next couple of weeks for the Seahawks if they really want to get a good shot at the playoffs. All right, Jacob, let's go over to some college football. Man, the Huskies. Like what? 9-0 now? This is crazy. They're 9-0. They're riding high off a big win against USC, 52-42. And then the week before that, a nice win against Stanford, 42-33. I mean, Jacob, this offense is lights out. What do you think?
I think we are the best team in college. No, I'm just kidding. I think we are a top Let me look at this really
It
quick.
should be a top 4
I
team.
honestly think the Huskies are a top 3 team in
Wow.
college football, and maybe even top 2. I do not think we're top 1, not whatsoever. Although I think Huskies are better than Florida State.
Yep.
I think I can confidently say they're better than Florida State.
Agreed. 100%.
I would maybe say they're even better than Ohio State.
Ooh.
That's a tough one. Ohio State has
Yeah,
a
I
really good
mean,
defense.
that is tough. They
I
are.
think honestly our all around offense is better than Ohio State. And I think in a game where we could overpower the QB, I think we may even be better than Georgia.
Wow.
Because by QB play, Penix is way better than Georgia's QB, Carson Beck. And the only team that I think is I couldn't make an argument for at all is Michigan. I think Michigan is
Yes,
I think
besides
Michigan honestly
Steelers.
is by far the best. I think Michigan by far is the best team, and I think they're better than Georgia. I think they're way better than Georgia. But
Besides
speaking of
Steelers.
Michigan, the whole scandal,
Yep. Side
that's
stealing.
huge.
I mean, do you think Jim Harbaugh might actually get suspended, like indefinitely? Like there are rumors going out there that he's gonna get suspended.
I
And
think he
whatever.
deserves it. I think if that happens.
Yeah, I mean,
Who
that's
is
what
it?
they're saying.
Who was the guy for the Astros, their manager? Was it
Dust. It's
wasn't
not.
it
It wasn't Dusty,
Cora?
right? Dusty wasn't there
Cora?
yet.
Was it
Yeah,
Cora? It was Alex Cora, right?
I
Or not
think so.
Alex Cora, Joey Cora? Or no, one of them
Wasn't he
played
a
for the
Mariner?
Mariners and then the
Joey Cora was a
one
Mariner.
one of them played for the Mariners and the other one is the manager of the Astros.
Let's check here.
One of them was a Mariner.
Yeah. Before Dusty, it was because he got also did he get suspended too or
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that could happen to Jim Harbaugh. I mean that's what the reports are saying right now. Like he could get suspended indefinitely. That'll take a huge hit to Michigan, but honestly deserved. I mean, they're like the
Oh yeah.
Patriots of college football. You just don't want those cheaters in there. And I mean, I
And
think
they also had Tom Brady.
we
Just throwing
do
that out there.
have a solid shot. The Huskies do have a solid shot to get into that college football playoff because Michigan or
Oh
Ohio
yeah.
State are gonna lose. One of them is gonna lose. If one of them loses and we just win out the rest of our games, we got a very solid shot. Unless the stupid East Coast bias takes over, we should be in that
Wait,
top 4 by the end of the season.
but we could get in even if we lose a game, I think.
Yeah, but wouldn't that also depend on like how much we lose it by?
Well, yeah, and it would also matter on who wins and loses. But if Michigan, okay, I'd say Michigan because Michigan's more, I think, gonna be put in that higher ranking than Ohio State and Penn State. But if Michigan destroys Ohio State and Penn State and goes undefeated, and Washington, or I think Florida State would have to lose. Florida State would have to lose in there, but if Washington played against Oregon in the college football playoffs and Huskies lost to Oregon by just a little bit, I think Washington and Oregon would both make the college football playoffs,
Dude,
putting
that'd be
Washington at
insane.
the 4 seed and Oregon at the 3 seed. I know I hate Oregon and all that,
Very
but
fair.
like I'd be so cool if there were two Pac-12 teams, the college football
Yeah.
playoffs.
I mean,
Like,
the Pac-12,
come on.
it is just so sad to see that it's over after this year. And the year that, I've said this
We got
multiple
basketball.
times, but
We got college
the
basketball.
year that Pac-12 football finally gets good again is the final year. That kind of sucks, but it would
yeah.
be kind of nice to see 2
Unfortunate.
Pac-12 teams get in there in the final year.
And even win.
That's
What
a
if we
nice
win?
way to ride off to the sunset for the conference.
Oh yeah. Although
But
I think the Huskies got to win out because then we
do.
could be crowned at the end the kings of the Pac-12.
That actually true. Like the long century long war and finally UW comes out on top. That
UW
would
comes
be
out
pretty
on top.
nice. That'd be icing on the cake, and we could just laugh at Josh forever. Just forever
Oh,
bring it
yeah.
up. Like, hey,
Okay, Oregon.
who's the
Okay.
king of the
Oh,
Pac-12?
Huskies playing Oregon State next week.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really, really good game. Well, we gotta face Utah first. The Utah game first, which
Or no?
we
Oh yeah,
should
that's
be able
the
to
week
win.
after. Yeah, we play Utah.
I mean,
Utah, I think they're good, but they don't have a quarterback. And look at
but
didn't
with the
they
way
get crushed by Oregon?
with the way our defense plays, dude, that defense is actually starting to get concerning. Like our offense can put up lights out points,
Our
but
team's fine, dude.
like
Our team is
the
fine.
last two games are getting me a little worried. I mean, giving up 33 to Stanford and then
USC.
42. Look, I get Caleb Williams is a phenomenal player, but still, like 42, just gonna make the offense
Okay,
go out there and just score more and more every single time.
USC is a top 3 offense in college football. I think it goes number 1, Washington. Honestly, I think Washington has the best offense in college football. Number 2, Ohio State. 3, USC. 4, Oregon.
Hmm.
It's just that USC's defense is terrible, so they're not even like up there. But I think USC is yeah, I think their offense is insane, so we shouldn't be worried. And plus, our offense outplayed them a ton, and we didn't even throw the ball really that game. We ran the ball so much. And look at our running back, dude. I did not
That
know
was
Dylan Johnson
dude.
had this in
Dylan
him.
Johnson
I
was
did not.
insane. That came out
I
of
did not
nowhere
realize that he
too.
had that dog in him. He has that dog in him.
That came out of nowhere.
256 yards.
Yeah, I don't know how, bro. That was insane.
Is that the best running performance so far this season?
I think so. I mean, I haven't heard
4
of a running back
touchdowns
like
too.
go that crazy in a while, and I
especially
don't think
against
this
like
season.
especially against a good team. Okay, their defense is
Their
terrible,
defense
but
is
it's still, but that doesn't matter. It's against a good team.
Yeah. That was a very, very good game for the offense though. And I mean,
Yeah.
if the defense just like steps up a little bit, then the offense just needs to continue to score their points and we'll be handily winning. That should be what happens against Utah. And then really the final big obstacle is the Oregon State game. And then if trap games are real, so there is a chance that it can happen in the Apple Cup too. So I mean, a lot on the line in these last 3 weeks.
No.
Trap games are possible. Trap games are very, very
It is
possible.
like last year with the Huskies, but I don't think that's gonna happen. No. Huskies own the Cougars last Apple Cup. We are not losing the last Apple Cup.
I don't think it'll be the last time. I feel like they've got to find a way to get the Apple Cup to still happen.
We're not letting that happen. We in fact are just not letting that happen.
That sucks. Bro.
And I mean, I can confidently say it's not even a debate. The Huskies will play in the college or in the Pac-12 championship. There's no way they don't. It's like
we have to.
It's like their chances of playing in it right now are like 70+%. Like they're in it. They're in it to win it. They are. I think this is maybe the greatest Husky season we've seen
since 2016.
No, I think it's way better.
Really? Wow.
I think we're better. Best Husky season since whenever they won the Rose Bowl or national championship a long time ago.
So like the 90s? Or
yeah. Or before that, I don't even know. I think this Husky team is the best Husky team I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Wow.
And maybe even all time. I don't know if there's a team that's going to even be able to beat us. Michigan is really good. I could
the
maybe see them,
well, it depends on how well these guys like go beyond. I mean, that it's hard. It's gonna be really hard to beat that 2016 team with like Browning and Gaskin and John Ross and Pettis and stuff. I don't know.
Just naming those players, none of those guys are gonna be. I mean, looking at them now, they're in the NFL. Only a few of them have been super successful. These Husky guys on the team right now are going to be so successful in the NFL. But when I just think of NFL talent, I look at Roma Dunze.
Mm-hmm.
I think Roma Dunze is the next best
Wow.
thing. I think he's the next DK. I mean, he's slightly smaller. He's not that much smaller. I think he'll be better than DK, honestly. Matters on what team he gets to. I hope he goes to a good passing team. He better go to a team like I hope he goes to a team like the Bengals or like I mean, obviously I
Do
want him
the
to go to the
Bengals
Seahawks, but
do the Bengals
it
really
wouldn't really
need
make
another
sense.
wide receiver though? I mean,
They're gonna get rid of T. Higgins. They are.
fair.
They will. And I think he might it'd be nice to see him honestly go to the Texans.
Interesting.
That'd be an interesting a Dunes Stroud to a Dunes,
I
bro.
mean,
Oh my gosh.
would you say that like the Huskies have the best wide receiving core in the nation right now?
Oh yeah. When healthy for sure, 100%. Right now I think they're probably the best, but it's a little I don't know without Jalen McMillan. But still looking at it, I think honestly
Our
Polk's better
boy
than
Polk,
McMillan.
bro. Our boy Polk.
That's our boy. Polk might be better than McMillan. I think he might actually be. I mean, look at what he's been doing. He's been the most honestly reliable receiver. He catches almost everything thrown to him. And we've seen in the game all of his clutch catches. We look at Roma Dunze. We always look at Roma Dunze because he makes the big play. But what sets up that play is a Jalen Polk catch. It's always.
His stat line this year is insane. I mean, he's on pace to get to 1,000 yards this year. I mean, there's still 3 games left, and he only needs 112 more yards to go. And he really did fulfill what he said to us that one time at broadcasting here. I mean, what 1,000 yards, 10 TDs, or whatever. Like he's on pace to do it. It's crazy. We will admit we
Top
didn't believe
15.
him at first, but look at him now. I mean, this is insane.
Top
Like
15
big
receivers, what he
jump,
said.
big jump.
Top
It's
15.
insane.
He's saying top 15 receiver. He might even be top 5 now.
He did
He
say he
might.
wanted to go to the draft early, so I mean,
I
you
don't
never
want him to
know.
go to the
Yeah,
draft
he
early.
shouldn't. He shouldn't.
He
Gotta wait
better
more.
stay here for just a little bit.
Yeah,
He
well,
better stay here for
we
just a
kind of
little
need him over here, cause I mean, what? Penix will
next
be
next year
gone, and then
we're gonna have a good quarterback next year.
Odunze is gonna be gone too, and then McMillan. I don't know. Like we'll see what happens. We do
I think
need
next
Jalen
year
Paul. He's
I
only a
think
sophomore.
obviously we're not gonna be obviously next year we're not gonna be as good as this year because we won't have Penix, we won't have Odunze, we won't have Trice, we won't have ZTF, a lot of those guys. But
So many guys going to the draft though.
yeah, but we have some nice guys coming up. I think honestly, looking at it, I think Dylan Morris might not be that bad of an option for QB next year.
I can see it.
I mean, he'd underperform during the 2021-2022 season, but that don't matter. He's been looking amazing for the little bit that he's gone in. Let me take a look at what he has. He has 9 completions, 9 for 14, 224 yards. That's great, honestly. I mean, can't get much better than that. I'd like to see I might like to see him play next year. And I might also like to see either him or Alex Mack, our 2023 commit, who's on the team right now. And he's huge. He's 6'6". I don't know how much he weighs, but he's the big 6'6" QB, young guy from California. I'm excited about him. 4-star. I mean, didn't the Huskies also get another big recruit, like a 3-star or something?
I don't know. I haven't checked it in a while, but
I
yeah.
believe we did.
I mean, this is a kind of a rough stretch. I mean, it's gonna be a tough stretch for the Dogs. I mean, what Utah is number 18. What's Oregon State again? They're pretty high up there too. Aren't they like 12 or 11 or something like that? Oregon State is they're number 12. I mean, you're gonna play number 18 and number 12. That's our two that we really got to worry about before the Apple Cup. I mean, this is make or break right here. I mean, these teams are good, and we do need to have our sights on. We can't be letting them trap us. This can't be a trap game,
Cannot let that happen. at
especially
all.
the Oregon State game. I mean, there's a lot on the line for that. It's gonna
Oh, yeah.
be really, really important for us. If we had to win that game, we want to get a really good shot into the college football playoff. So it's gonna be an interesting final 3 weeks for the Dogs. See if they can get to number 4. We'll see what happens.
Speaking of the Dogs, college basketball.
Back
It's
on.
been we've had one game, kind of crushed Bellarmine, but it's Bellarmine, so
And now they got
yeah.
what, Northern Kentucky after? Yeah, Northern Kentucky. I mean, it should be a solid 2-0 start.
I'm excited for the Huskies this year. I think their team is better than previous years. I mean, let's look at their team.
That's not
They
really
got
hard to beat, but yeah.
Keon Brooks. We love Keon Brooks. We got Corin Johnson. Is Corin Johnson a freshman? Or let me
Shoot.
take a look at this. Corin Johnson. He balled out. Corin Johnson is a sophomore. Corin Johnson's a sophomore. So if he most of these college basketball players that play good when they're sophomores and stuff will probably play college basketball for like 3 more years or 2 more years because of NIL. Like they're not in a rush to go to the draft unless they're a freshman. So I think Huskies should be sitting in a good spot right now with these sophomore players. We also have this really good freshman that's going to be in the NBA pretty soon after this year. Wesley Yates, he didn't play because he is hurt or something. He's out. So hopefully he comes back next game and shows what he's got because he's projected to be an NBA pick, and that'd be nice to see another Husky in the NBA. So yeah.
While we're on the topic of Huskies, let me just give a quick shout out here to the Huskies cross country teams. Sorry, I'm a cross country kid. I gotta shout them out here. Boys the men's cross country team got second in the Pac-12 championships. The women won the Pac-12 championship for the women's race. So, I mean, gotta shout them out there. The last Pac-12 championship too. So that's pretty dope. All right, let's go back here. A quick rundown of the other Seattle sports that are going on here. Sounders in the playoffs against FC Dallas. They won game 1, 2-0, but then dropped the second game 3-1 to FC Dallas. Now it is going to be game 3 on Friday at Lumen Field. Should be a game that the Sounders can win. And then the Kraken are just not it. I mean, Josh is running a lot of miles right now because the Kraken are just taking L after L after L. And I feel bad for the guy because he's going to have to run in like the dark and the rain and eventually possibly even snow. So, gotta feel for Josh, man. I don't know what he was doing with this idea, but he's got to stick to it now or else he will not consider himself a true Kraken fan anymore. All right, Jacob, anything else you want to add?
Nah, I don't really got too much else to add. Just
right.
oh, wait, really quick. NBA, they have their in-season tournament, which that's a little odd. You've heard about that, right?
I did hear a little bit. I was like, I'm still confused on what the concept is for that.
It's for more people to watch to make more money, World Cup style. I like it.
Money.
I think it's really cool. But
dude, Wemby is like a freak out there.
Isn't he playing tonight?
Man, I don't know. I've just seen highlights. Like he is just kind of torching out there. It's pretty impressive to see.
I mean, he's playing right now.
It's kind of been a while since you've seen a freak like that coming straight from the draft, like in a while. So
yeah,
I mean,
he's automatic.
It could have been
he's automatic rookie of the year.
It could have been like that with like Zion and whatever, but just not in the end. Didn't work out. So I mean, it's nice to see Wemby just going crazy for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait for when they announce the Sonics coming back. And he's gotta.
They better do that soon.
It's gonna happen eventually.
How about we move the Clippers up here? Everyone in LA is a Lakers fan.
Do we really need another LA? Do we really need 2 LA teams? Yeah, this is like the irrelevant LA team there. It's like the Chargers. or
Okay,
New
but the
York
Chargers are
or
like
what.
starting to be good now,
Yeah,
and all the San Diego fans are fans of the
that
Chargers.
is true. And St. Louis,
So
St. Louis would be just salty that they lost their team. So
why doesn't St. Louis have a team? They should bring them back, low key.
yeah,
I mean, not the LA Rams. Bring maybe
ah,
back like the Chargers. Do a little
it's
switch up.
it's all about money at the end of the day. Like you said, with the in-season tournament, it's a way to get viewers, a way to get more money. At the end of the day, it's a business. You gotta, it's gotta be,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about money at the end of the day, and just how much you can make. It's part of business, and that's part of how these leagues roll. All right, that should be it. We're gonna send Jacob off to his Travis Scott concert. Have a great time, Jacob. We'll see you guys
Thank
next
you.
week for the next episode. Go Hawks, go Sounders, go Kraken. We'll see you guys next time.
Too soon? Little too
Peace out.
soon?